Hi, everybody. Welcome to your Aries horoscopes for the week of September 10th to the 16th. And as usual, it's pretty quiet in Aries this week. Not a lot of planet action going on is what I mean by pretty quiet. Are your lives going to be quiet? Probably not, because we're still in a Mercury retrograde this week. Um, through most of the week. It actually ends on the 15th. We have a shadow period until Friday next week, but the point is that we're almost in the clear here and not necessarily dealing with that anymore. For some people, this has been a particularly annoying and difficult one, with some particularly just annoying little things that are happening that have no rhyme or reason to them. It's a typical Mercury retrograde thing. Hopefully you guys aren't dealing with that, but it is highly possible that you will. And I often find with Mercury retrogrades that the things tend to happen the most right before it happens and towards the end of the retrograde. Some retrogrades even beginning and ending in really bizarre ways. So continue to put your Mercury retrograde bubble up for that. Have lots of patience. Delays are going to happen. It just is what it is. Focus is on those you love this week. Usually that's family. And that can mean a lot of different things. Either there is somebody that is close to you that's giving you some concern, meaning that they're on your mind a lot because you're concerned about them. But this can also mean more opportunities to be able to spend time with those people that are closest to you as well, or trying to find new ways, creative ways of being able to spend that time. Sometimes we get, all relationships get into a rut where we wind up following the same patterns. And I feel like, a lot of times when astrologically we're focused on that, this is an opportunity to kind of maybe create something new and not necessarily stick to the same pattern or get stuck in a rut with a relationship, which is deadly for Aries anyways. Chiron continues to be in Aries as well, still retrograde. So, pardon me. In some ways, that gives the feeling of not being able to change the circumstances around the relationship. Now, it's kind of interesting, and what's been coming up a lot during the Venus retrograde and the Mercury retrograde, kind of sort of basically one came after the other, and they're both pretty heavy hitters for everybody all the way around. A lot of things that have come up big time is, a lot of people coming to me with problems or being in negative patterns or having problems inside of their relationship. And the truth is that everybody's focus is on things would be so much different if they changed how they were doing it. It would make it easier for everybody. And while that is quite possibly very true, you're also saying, I choose not to take power over my own actions and how I may be playing into this pattern by bumping it to the other person. And so what tends to happen is you're stuck in a place where you just wish things were different. There's nothing that can be done to change it. You try a million different ways to change the person's perception and how they're dealing with it, and ignoring how you may be playing into the problem yourself. So yes, nobody wants to see their own mistakes, but by looking at the different ways that you may be playing into this pattern, it actually gives you more control, being able to change the pattern, because relying on somebody else is a wasted activity. I mean, first of all, you have no control over them. Second of all, the more you push for them to change, the more they dig their heels in and stay exactly the same. Every single person listening to this is going to be able to connect to that, because every single one of us has been there. It is a waste of energy, and it does nothing but continue to make you frustrated. So the only control you have is to look at what you're doing, not justifying your actions, but look at what you specifically may be doing to play into the negativities or the toxicity or the unhealthy pattern that is going on in that relationship. Now, that being said, If you identify that and you change your behavior and still nothing else changes, it's really easy to fall back into, okay, well, I did what I was supposed to do and they didn't change. So now what happens? Well, now what happens is you assess, is this a relationship that is healthy for you to be in? We can't control other people. And one of the biggest things that I have learned in my own journey of healing is that sometimes we can love somebody, but we can also leave them behind in some way, shape, or form at the same time. And it's not necessarily physically walking away from the person, but it is leaving behind the hope that they're going to change. It's leaving behind the control of trying to force them to change, and just accepting them for who they are, but placing very tough boundaries around that relationship to establish that you're not going to continue to play the same game. So seems like an awful lot for people who don't have a whole lot going on in your sign. But honestly, this is a pattern that's coming up for everybody. The issue is that this week, Aries is specifically focused on that. So, and I feel like for many Aries, especially Aries women, although Aries men do play a part in this as well, you guys just want to make it so that everybody's having a good time. You guys just want to make it so that everybody's getting along. You guys want to make it so that everything is just easy peasy and you can ignore what is unpleasant. Unfortunately, the universe only allows you to do that for so long before it comes back and says, this is a problem. This keeps plaguing you. You need to fix it. So this is an opportunity to do just that. So that's what I have for you guys this week. If you love your horoscopes, do click the link in the description and send me a copy. I would love that. If you are listening rather than viewing, that's ko-fi.com/heavy metal psychic. And of course, if you want to book some time, book a reading. You owe it to yourself to book a reading. You can always go to heavymetalpsychic.com and do just that. But check it out. There's all kinds of cool stuff on the website too, because I have a fantastic web developer lady. I'm Melissa Bruce, the Heavy Metal Psychic, and that is what I have. I will see you guys next week. In the meantime, be bold and be brave and make it a great week, you guys.